I'm responsible for Defence Science and Technology Group, and our responsibilities are to help make sure Australia gets after the right defence and national security science and technology to solve Australia's most pressing priority problems. So within the defence context, we have 8 star shots, which are big, hairy problems that defence service chiefs know that they need new science and technology for. So we're harnessing our universities, our industry ecosystem to try and align more of that activity to these identified problems. And in the national security space, we work across whole of government with all of the agencies and equities across different departments and have identified priorities that we also are shaping Australia to deliver on. I think one of the most pressing risks to national security are the very rapid technologically driven changes in the area of data and cyber. Increasingly, everything we do as individuals, but also as nations, is just implicitly dependent on access to information. And anything that interrupts that access to information is intrinsically a risk and a threat to us as individuals and as a nation. So what we're doing is working to both raise the degree of sophistication of Australian businesses as Australian government to make sure that they are less vulnerable to cyber attack. But what we're doing in the defence science and technology arena is developing new technologies to counter such cyber attacks to make sure that Australia is more resilient. Defence Science and Technology Group is working on a number of key projects to help Australia recover and be resilient post-pandemic. Many of these involve getting our small to medium enterprises involved in developing new technologies for defence and in helping our universities, which has suffered quite a shock through the withdrawal of international students over an extended period, to try and align to some of the big defence acquisition projects. We've done this by forming networks in things like AI and quantum and trying to draw some of that brilliance into defence exercises and trials so that we can get new technologies into the hands of the warfighter early and in that way try to create commercial opportunities for new Australian ideas. The panel that I'm involved in is looking at ways of working across whole of government. For me, I play a particular role in trying to corral the requirements that government departments and agencies have for national security science and technology. And to do that in a way that allows us to set the ecosystem clear priorities and to get resources aligned to those priorities. Also within Defence Science and Technology Group, we host the National Security Science and Technology Centre that then draws out the dual use or national security applications of some of the defence technologies that we develop for the ADF. So it's that dual functioned role. And I'll be talking about some of the progress we're making in aligning whole of government priorities so that we can achieve greater impact together. I think it's really important to have fora like this so that we can reduce the silos, remove the boundaries between different organisations, because across Australia, we often don't have within individual organisations the critical mass to be able to shift the dial, but together we do. And there's real power in doing it that way. The different perspectives of different organisations, the different challenges, when brought together to the table, I think inspire creativity and create new ways of solving some of those problems. And it often strikes me when I travel and talk to international counterparts that we can often do a lot more with less in Australia because of the deep interconnection across our national security system, and that's a real strength we have.